Hello everyone! Now is such a wonderful moment in the work, and there is an opportunity to show the situation when several threads are introduced into the work at the same time. I have already talked about this, but such a clear moment has not yet presented itself to show you. It is for such situation what we need these cute little things more than usual. Of course, you can embroider without magnets and other wonderful helpers, but the comfort will not be the same. Um, you can have a dozen or more of these cute things in your arsenal. It all depends on how you organize your embroidery process. Well, in this case, we're now holding the threads what I introduced into the work in parallel. Mm, how do such moments happen? In fact, in different ways. They can initially decide to embroider, for example, according to a pattern using very clear logic. Let's say from bottom up. For example, you purchase a pattern and according to logic, as I said, what is clear to you, you embroider upwards. Let's return camera to the standard display, otherwise the frame um, then looks a little bit weird. It's already early in the morning for me. I'm a early bird and living on the island, and I have adapted to the format of life in the Iceland nature. Now I get up and go to the bed much earlier. In recent years I have adapted to this and feel very comfortable. Now I have early morning, and in order not to especially illuminate, I sit in natural light. Well, let's get back to our topic. If there is a need to embroider without fully understanding the final look of a creation, let's say you're embroidering according to someone else's pattern, but you want to add something, or you're fantasizing from the very beginning. And your pattern has a lot of colors, dozens. And in order not to cut the thread, you continue embroidering with different colors. One color and on a magnet, another color, and again you hook the needle on the magnet. Then you still don't understand what shade to introduce. For example, we want to place this color here, and therefore we can introduce it in parallel where it is convenient for us, and see how harmoniously everything looks together. It's all very simple. There is no special secret in this, but I really wanted to show you visually what the process of one-stage embroidery with different threads using the double cross technique looks like. Both threads are already introduced into the work, equally secured on the back side of the canvas. By the way, here is what a beautiful back side I have knit, simply phenomenal. Let me now explain my logic on this specific section of embroidery, why I decided to introduce two threads. I have my own quirks about the structure of embroidery and desire to place double crosses in a central sequence. I have logic in all this, and in order to comply with it, I need to count and monitor the intersection of crosses, so what they are not embroidered in the wrong place. For me, double cross is a kind of detector, a standard. So then Then I started embroidering this element, these colors. The first petal of a design in red color should start in this part, in this place. But here, as you can see, it is very easy to make a mistake. Double crosses are located quite far from each other. If you don't bother and don't approach embroidery with my perfectionism, then you can embroider across anywhere. But this is not my level. I explain again. This is a double cross, and at first glance it seems like it would be possible to place a double cross here too. Then here and here and where would be chaos, and all the logic, beauty, and structure would be destroyed. In my understanding, I try to create a structure from visible chaos. And let's how to explain you more clearly. You see a line here and double crosses in it. A cross of one color turns in a cross of another color, and if there are some discrepancies, then they embroider it with simple crosses. Of different colors. This technique of auxiliary use of a simple cross helps to form any complex contour. The same logic is present horizontally. Here there are different crosses and different shades of them. Simple crosses really help to create a greater variety of shapes than during using only a double cross. Combining techniques certainly opens up wide possibilities, and I love it. In those places there is no clear what kind of cross to embroider, then there are additional questions or uncentered here. There I got the color right because I come up with it in real time. Then the thread of a selected color is introduced in the embroidery. Do you understand now what embroidery is Sudoku? A great game for a brain. Do you understand how much hand embroidery enhances brain activity? Even then you embroider according to pattern, and maybe to not less extent, by the way. You think about there you are embroidering the cross and what the next one will be. You think about how aesthetic your embroidery is, how beautiful it is from the back side. You always think about which direction to embroider in, which stitch to finish the cross this. It's always mental work. This, which with skills turn into mechanical and brings you to a meditative state. Embroidery doesn't seem like an intellectual activity, and this is a huge misconception. This is a meditative practice, and the brain activity at different stages of mastering the skill of embroidery goes into different forms of functioning. That is why I try to convey what everyone needs to embroider, from a child to elderly person. Choose forms and technique close to your heart and work with your hands. This thread was attached to a magnet, so that it would not get tangled and would not interfere with my further embroidery. Here, according to logic already stated, first you can embroider these simple crosses. You see, it's absolutely clear. Then here at the intersection, also simple ones, and only here you can embroider the first double cross in a new color. It will be the starting point in embroidering design element of this color shade. We begin to introduce it. Attach it and embroidering until the moment when a sufficient number of double crosses are embroidered, like in Sudoku. We can take the next step. I love Sudoku, and when I fly on an airplane and my eyes are rested, but I don't want to watch movies, then playing Sudoku and setting new records is just great. I love this opportunity with airlines. So literally, a few double crosses of orange color make it possible to return to the red shade, since the orange crosses are landmarks, and by them I can calculate the correct location of double crosses of a red shade, which was waiting for some time. This technique is to not complicate the task. You can certainly start embroidering from here, for example, or from here. There is not a single reference point from double crosses in a convenient proximity for the eye. I'm guided by the double cross not accidentally, because I popularized hand embroidery in this technique, and the cross for me is a reference point. Then embroidering, it is better to have a certain number of magnets and embroider with threads of different colors without the need for unnecessary cutting of threads. Fasten it on the magnet and embroider further. Now let's take a red thread and continue embroidering to everything what I just talked about. We check ourselves vertically for compliance with the position of double crosses attentively. And horizontally for sure. Double cross, you see. For simple crosses, double cross, and here the logic what I will now use is completely obvious. Here I need to finish embroidering simple crosses. Canvas is very convenient for hand embroidering. Even in this way, the holes are large enough to manipulate the needle freely. Very comfortable. I'm just enjoying. I understand what I have a double cross starting from here. So I'm stitching a simple cross a little differently. Look closer. I pull the thread here and finish the cross like, you see, like this. So what the thread is in the place I need for the next cross. Well, 3 beautiful crosses done, and now I can finally stitch the first double cross in this color shade. And logically the line ends with a simple cross. There is some tail sticking out here. Now I will push it back. We can check what's going on there. Let's see. See this little tail of floss hidden on the inside. Now I will pull the thread and everything is fine. The back side of embroidery looks very neat and has an interesting texture. And here we are again on the front side, and can continue embroidering our double cross easily with great pleasure. You know, always for important stitches. Well, double cross, ready. I will fix the thread on the magnet for now while the embroidery is on pause. Now you know how to optimize your embroidery. Think, draw conclusions, and take action. What is best for you, fantasize, and improve your skills, and see you soon in new videos. Subscribe to the channel and leave comments and any feedback.